Hello, good morning Flosstube. My name is Barbie. Some of you might know me as Pedal Pusher on Etsy. I also have a Instagram account that is Barbie's Pedal Pusher. And this is my very first Flosstube video. I'm really excited to be making this. I've been watching Flosstube for a little over a year now, and I feel like I've really gotten to know a lot of you guys, but that it's kind of a one-sided conversation. So I've been meaning to make a Flosstube video for a really long time, and it never seems like it's the right time. Maybe it's too cloudy out, or the kids are busy, or whatever. And today I said, you know what, I'm just going to finally do it. So if you see me kind of looking off camera, I'm checking the baby monitor. He is napping right now, but wiggly, so this will probably be a pretty short video. So I'll do my best to go through it quickly. Also, if you hear weird like banging and tapping noises, my neighbors next door are getting a new roof today. Everyone in my town has gotten a new roof this summer because we had a really bad hailstorm on February 28th, and so it's been a very, very noisy summer here in Illinois. Like I said earlier, my name is Barbie. I live in Illinois. I actually live really close to St. Louis, so just kind of on the Illinois side of the river there. I am married. I have 3 kids. I have a 6-year-old son, a 4-year-old daughter, and then a new baby who is almost 5 months old. I just quit my job this last spring. For the last 10 years, kind of on and off, I have been an elementary school art teacher, but with our 3rd child arriving, my husband and I decided that we would have me stay home for a while, and I really love it, and it gives me lots more stitching time, kind of, when I can get it in with people napping and Cub Scouts and soccer practices and all that stuff that moms do. So I'm going to really quickly show you some of my whips, some of my recent acquisitions that I've gotten, some things to add to my collection, and a little bit of some finishes and some plans. So just a tiny bit of kind of what are some things that I've been doing lately. So the whip that I'm currently working on, since today is September 29th, almost last day of September, so I have been working on Halloween Cat by Satsuma Street. This one's really fun. It's been going pretty quick. Big blocks of color. My kids love Halloween. My daughter loves kitty cats, so this is perfect for that. Most of my minders that you'll see are ones that I have made myself. I just like to search for rhinestone pendants on Etsy, and then file off the little ring at the top and glue on a magnet, and there you go. So I'm using the called for fabric and all the DMC that's called for. So really fun. Halloween Cat by Satsuma Street. My next whip that I'm hoping to get back to soon, you're going to see a little bit of a trend of what kinds of things I like, is Pretty Little Italy, again by Satsuma Street. This is on an 18 count Aida, the called for Aida I believe, and all the called for colors again. So I was really on a roll with that when I stopped to do a couple other things that I'll show you soon. So I want to get back to this once kind of Halloween stitching is over. One that I have worked on and off for a while, and I just saw that she came out. I think she just ended her sale. She had a 20% off sale that I was a good girl and resisted because I have bazillions of others to stitch. I've been working on Donna Stitch. This is her Sleeping Beauty pattern. And for some reason I decided I wanted to do almost all the outlines first and then kind of fill it in like a coloring book. So I want to get this for my daughter. Aurora is her favorite, and again, needle minder, I just found a pendant online and made myself. So there's that one. And I know I'm going through these fast and sometimes I talk quickly, so that's just kind of how I am sometimes. This one, MCG Textiles. I think some of us, we hear that and we cringe. I've been having that same problem. So I started this last Christmas. It's Stitchrovia. I think it's called Christmas Town, Stitchrovia on Etsy. And I love the bright colors. It's such a cute pattern. But as I've been stitching it, I've noticed that my stitches aren't making squares. It's more of the rectangles, like many of us have had that problem. So this is the first page here, all finished. page 1, and I started a little in on page 2 this summer, and I had to put it in timeout because it just was driving me crazy with those squares not being square. So I will get back to it. I haven't burned it yet. It just needs a little timeout. Maybe when Christmas starts coming around, it'll come back out to play for a little bit. We'll see. Alright, so those are some of my current whips. I do have loads more that I want to get to here soon, but I do have a couple finishes to show you. They're not really FFOs. I'm not the best at getting things completely finished and framed and everything. I'm working on it. I've got some ideas. It's just time. Kids suck up all my time. So here in Illinois, we had the solar eclipse not too long ago, and where I live, since I'm in kind of the lower half of the state, the eclipse went right through where I live, and we had 100% totality just like, 30 minutes south of my house. So I was really excited about it. And so one night I was sitting and rocking the baby, and I'm thinking, okay, the solar eclipse, and I had been reading all about it and watching YouTube videos on what to expect and what to see, and I just suddenly got this spark in my head of like, oh, I should make a pattern about it. And I mean, sometimes when I'm designing and coming up with patterns, it's really, really hard to think of the idea and how it's going to lay out and what kind of color. This one, I mean, it just was like I had the idea and poof, I knew exactly what I wanted it to look like. I think the very next day I got on my computer and I pretty much designed the whole thing in a matter of a couple hours, picked out the colors. A few days later went to my L&S, grabbed a fabric and started stitching it, and I had it done. I think it was a week and a half time from the time I thought of it to the time it was finished. So this is what I ended up with, and I'll kind of hold it up against myself. That's the Great American Eclipse, and the date there, 8/21/17. So it was a quick, easy, fun stitch. This is on, I think it was called Nordic Blue maybe, 14 count Aida, so that made it really fast and easy. I used some coloring cotton right here, I forget what it was called, sorry Angela. And this was also coloring cotton on the lettering, and that was antique gold. But just turned out really cute, I thought. I love it. I do want to frame it eventually, and I think I want to put my special eclipse glasses in the frame with it, just kind of as a little memento. So if you get a chance, the next eclipse that comes around, I think it's in 7 or 8 years, I think it goes from Texas to like somewhere up on the East Coast. If you can go see 100% totality, I would totally do it. As cheesy as it sounds, like, it was amazing. I thought it was totally cool. I'm a bit of a weather freak sometimes. I like watching weather. I grew up, my dad is a science teacher, and so maybe that's kind of influenced me, but a whole bunch of my family all went together and saw it, and it was really, really cool. It's just kind of an undescribable event. Like, once you see it, just like, whoa, mind blown type of thing. So anyway, go check it out if you can. Mark your calendar, 7 or 8 years. I do have one FFO. Oh, and by the way, the eclipse pattern, that is not in my Etsy shop. I put that one, that was a free pattern, and if you are in Stitch Mania and search for it, I put the PDF in there, or if you remember, I have a Stitch Along group on Facebook. I think it's called Petal Pusher Stitch Along Group, something like that. Search for it, and I offered it as a free pattern there as well. So you can get it there if you would like to. This is an FFO, another one of my patterns I recently did over the summer. So this is Tiki Room. I love Disney World. I finally got to take my 2 biggest kids last summer, and so I have in my Etsy shop several Disney World or Disneyland patterns that are more inspired by, instead of the movies, they're inspired by the rides. So this is inspired by one of my favorites, which is the Enchanted Tiki Room. I love all the little birdies singing in there and the birds.